Let me say something here. What they tell us is that in Jamaica, there's a people called the Arawak Indians before we arrived there, on the Jamaican flag. They got the Arawak Indians. They said ultimately one people. That's what they said, yeah? Okay? You got to indulge me because I'm not a master. I'm just a lay-by. You saw me, I'm just somebody just...
You have to understand.
Are you recording me?
Listen. Yeah? You believe a man that's lied to you the most.
No, let me finish.
White man, Esau, no, let me finish. You believe in the people who have lied to you the most.
Like who?
The white Esau.
No. Let me finish.
You're coming to us with the words of Satan.
No, that's first. Because, watch this. No, watch this. You're the master.
You've been deceived.
Yeah, but give me a
now what's your nationality?
For me? Yeah. What's your nationality? I mean, where I'm from. Yeah. Where I was born.
Now, what would you say that you are as an individual on this planet?
I ain't got any nationality. It doesn't exist.
See what I'm saying?
My man,
see what I'm saying?
But you know, I know exactly where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Where you're coming from, see what the problem with our people, right? And I'm not getting on you.
Yeah.
Don't
make it personal because
no, it ain't nothing personal. But what I want to tell you something, right? Yeah. What your situation is because some guy, a white guy with a suit and tie, he said, look, we found a skeletal remains, and it's pretty much 30,000 years old. A man with a suit and tie, you gonna take his word for it, especially if he's on TV. But if we telling you the truth about what the deal is, because see, and what proves what I'm saying is true, because you even said something about you're gonna go based on the Bible, and that's not really edifying the point. I'm roughly paraphrasing what you said. All right, and that's what you're going. You're not going with the Bible is saying, which the Bible, as we've been always bringing about, that's the so-called black man's documentation. All right, now you may. All right,
yeah.
Can
I say something?
You're going.
How do we put the history of the dinosaurs in what we're talking about? Do the dinosaurs ever exist?
The dinosaurs exist right now.
Yo, bro, let's break everything down. First and foremost,
can you put them into history?
First and foremost, you have got a problem with the fact that Jamaicans were even taken as slaves.
They were never slaves. They're indigenous. They're sovereign.
So are they sovereign now?
Because you look like my uncle, actually. Huh? You look like my uncle.
I like
you look like Libra, Uncle Libra, yeah. No, serious. It's typical maroon. It's typical maroon. Serious, yeah. It's typical
my man. So are they sovereignty? Are they sovereign now?
Who, Jamaicans?
Yeah.
No, they're not sovereigns now.
But you said they were always sovereign.
Yeah, they are sovereign, but the fact that they're called Jamaicans, they're not sovereign. Because remember, if you come from a land which doesn't belong to you, you can't claim sovereignty. So that's why they put a flag. You see the flag, the Jamaican flag? It's got the red cross. That's the cross of who?
Explain, in Ghana, they got like called the passage of no return. It's like a castle where the slaves, when they left, they never returned.
Yeah.
So are you going to tell me that was all a lie?
Yeah. What I'm saying is that...
Are you going to tell me that was a lie?
That's the truth. That's the truth.
So you was taking the slaves then?
No, not the Jamaicans.
But it's a fact that the Jamaicans were taking the slaves from Ghana.
No, my brother. Let me explain something here. Just 1 minute. Yeah? Give me a chance here, because remember, you guys are scholars, yeah? All right, you're well taught, you understand? And it's the first one actually stop in the street to speak to anybody about this subject. They say that the Arawaks are indigenous to the Caribbean, to Jamaica, yeah? Arawak Indians. But there are no artifacts that says that the Arawaks ever existed. One thing they look for feces. You know feces? Yeah? To find out any human civilization, feces always remain. That's the fact that the humanity exists, or skeleton remains, buildings and so on. There are no artifact living in the island. They say they've been here for 10,000 years. There is no artifacts.
But can I say one thing?
Go on.
I'll say this right now. The people the Arawak Indians, okay, that's in Jamaica.
They were never there, brother.
No, hear me. What I'm about to say. They were in Jamaica before the Negroes got there. Because you have two kinds. Listen. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Yeah, I know you got to go, because you don't want to deal with the facts.
I don't like that term.
Okay, let's just deal with blacks then.
No, Jed, because Jamaica, you can't call a Jamaican a Negro.
Okay, let's just say.
Taking it personally, he's using it.
You can't.
Okay, what does the word Negro mean? It just means black.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does. From the Latin.
From the Portuguese. By the Portuguese.
That's all it means.
Niger, Niger, which means black.
In the Second World War, right? In the Second World War, the American soldiers called West Indians Negro. If you go that when the American soldiers in England were getting ready to invade Europe, and they walk into a pub, and you see West Indian there.
Bro, it just means black, man. That's all
No,
it
they want
means.
berserk. No,
Okay, I'm gonna use another
we don't
term.
call each other that.
So getting
I'm
emotional.
gonna use
No,
another
we
term.
don't call each other that.
You're getting emotional.
Okay, I'm gonna say the term Jamaican.
I don't use it.
My man.
Bro, you're getting emotional. You're a
am
man.
emotional.
You are a man.
Huh?
You're a man.
I'm a man, but you don't call me.
Why are you getting
My
emotional?
man. Hear what I'm saying.
Don't get emotional. We're just speaking.
No.
Like,
We don't call each other that shit.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we don't call it. No.
Well, I'll call you Jamaican.
Yeah.
Now hear what I'm saying.
Go on.
Right? Now, the blacks that's in Jamaica now, I'll use another term. The blacks that's in Jamaica now, they weren't always in that land. They were, the bulk of them were in West Africa. Okay? Now, to deal with your point, which you're correct on that, the Arawak Indians now, they were in the land before the blacks got in it. The Jamaicans got in it. All right? Now, let me finish my point. I'll let you speak. Now, what you call the Arawak Indians, that was the northern kingdom that pretty much escaped it from the Assyrian Empire, the Assyrian captivity, right? And what they did is they went into Arslan, or those lands where Arslan was at, and they dived into they pretty much dwelled in those lands for thousands of years.
which is America.
There are no artifacts on the island of any Arawak going back 10,000 years. What I want you to do, right, listen to me, just 1 minute, yeah? I want you to read a man or study a guy called Master Imru. Yeah? You heard of Master Imru?
No.
Alright. Study a man called Master Imru. He's got on YouTube, you can't believe everything people are here on YouTube while you're watching YouTube. He says, why Jamaicans are not the real Jamaicans. Follow him. And he'll tell us that people call it Amerindians in North America. Yeah? They found statues of them in North America. You know the big head with the African features?
Oh, those.
Yeah.
No, the Olmec heads.
Oh my, yes.
But you see
Yeah,
those heads?
right.
But you see those heads?
What about
you see those helmets that are on their heads? There was research that those are Egyptian. Those are not. Those are not our people. Those Olmecs, those are Hamites.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Those are we're not
That's
Hamites.
the problem. Listen.
We can't listen.
No.
We come from Shem.
No, Jeff.
The Hamites, the Canaanites, the people of Sudan, foolishness. The people of Sudan are not our people. They are the Ethiopians, the Somalians, descend from a man called Ham. We are not the same people.
The Bible. Once you bring the Bible in any conversation, you waste your time.
But you know, though, my man, can
You
I
waste
say
your time.
one thing?
Listen. You call him what? Jesus Christ?
No, we don't. That's
That's
what they
it.
call
Now
it.
he's jumping to another topic now.
Yeah. Who's this?
Let me do it.
This is what? This is Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. Jesus.
No, we don't call him
What
that.
do you call him?
How? I ain't gonna tell him.
All right. Okay. Because the term that J.
We don't believe in that.
We
We don't believe in that.
know that Jay came later. We know that.
Well, you
We
got
just
him
say
here.
that
You got him
Jesus
here.
Christ, like.
But we have him here for if you call it. You don't call him Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because that's what people call
But
him.
you
But that's
rub
not
it
what
out.
we call him.
No, rub it out. Because you're reinforcing. You are reinforcing the stereotype.
Let me ask you a question.
Isn't it
Let me
reinforcing the
ask you a
stereotype?
question.
You're reinforcing the stereotype.
What
He's
is
not
your
Jesus Christ.
nationality?
I ain't got no nationality.
So who are you to tell us anything? You don't even know who you are.
So who are you?
An Israelite.
Listen.
You don't even know who you are.
Listen.
What are you?
On this earth.
What are you?
What I am.
Yeah.
I'm nobody.
Take it.
But you know what, though, he's right. He's a nobody.
I'm nobody. Isn't it?
I'm gonna read this.
I'm nobody.
This is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land thou knowest not.
Read that again, man.
What Bible is
It
that?
says,
What Bible is
and
that?
thou
King
even
James,
thyself
King James.
shall discontinue from thine heritage. King James
King
was black,
James.
man, by the way.
Arrest your ass,
So
boy.
black.
King James.
You think he was
So-called black, man. He was so-called black.
King
man.
James,
So-called black.
you're in King James Bible. You're reading King James Bible. Rest your blood clot. Where?
No, he was a so-called black man.
King
So-called
James
black.
said,
he's a so-called
wow. King James, fuck yourself.
And he thinks I'm laughing with him.
King
I'm
James,
laughing at
you know
him.
who King James is?
He's a so-called black man.
What?
King James is Shakespeare himself.
No, he's not. Where's the
here
proof
we
of that?
go, man.
Where's the proof? You can't say that.
I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you.
There we go.
Okay, all right. We're done, yeah?
You're gonna wake up with everlasting contempt and shame.
Yeah, he's gonna be destroyed, man.
Hey, so who's arguing, man?
I'm not
Yo,
I'm
he's
not
all right. He all right.
Huh? I'm not going to
Now
heaven.
you're gonna be in
You're
heaven.
gonna be destroyed.
You're gonna be in heaven.
He's gonna be destroyed.
You're gonna be
destroyed.
destroyed, but you're gonna come back in heaven.
Is it?
Yeah, and you're gonna be ashamed.
You're gonna be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a big beard on your face.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be ashamed.
All right, take care.
And you're gonna realize you was actually speaking to the prophets, man. You're gonna realize that when you're in the people.
You have to break eggs to make.
This is I'm gonna read this.
Learn it. Don't worry. Don't fall. I'm learning.
This is Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my
And
anger.
that was the perfect example of that.
Yep.
The Lord made him to discontinue from his heritage.
Yep.
That's when I asked him, what are you? He said, I'm nobody.
But he's right.
Like he didn't know. He didn't know. And then he gave us all this information about Lucy in Africa and the dinosaurs and what else did he say? He said, oh, we're not the Olmecs and the Arawak Indians of Jamaica that we never taken as slaves. All this info, and I've seen this info on the internet.
Yeah.
And I've never bothered to watch it because I know it's bullshit in it. All right, but he believes it. He's been watching it. That's what I'm saying about there's so much. The scripture say, if it's possible, they will deceive the very elect.
It's not possible.
Because he's not of the elect. He's been deceived. If the Most High could have mercy on him, and somehow, because he said he's learning, so the Most High could have mercy upon him and give him something that might deliver him. All right, if that's possible, okay. But that guy, he's the perfect example of Jeremiah 17 verse 4, man. The Lord made him to discontinue from his heritage, and he's in his enemy's land, believing what his enemies tell him, man. He believes what his enemies tell him. I want to show you a picture. I don't know if you can see it, because look at this. You see that black woman, that mixed race woman having a child with a white woman, and the black woman, she's worshiping, she's praising God that her daughter gave birth to a white man's child.
Wow.
Look, I don't know if you can see it through the thing.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
That's
two figures.
It's a black woman right there.
Just break it down.
That's a simple nigga.
Being worshipping God that her so-called mixed race daughter has given birth to the white man's child. You see the white man in the background there. Yes. I don't know if you can
See about three figures. It's not very clear.
because the sellotape's there. But a friend of mine gave me that. That's an example of what is going on. That our people discontinue from their heritage, made to think that there's something dirty about the complexion of our skin, and that being white is better. Okay, and that same psychological sickness was passed down intergenerationally to this present day, where we really truly believe that being white is right and being black is somewhat ignorant.
But you know, I'm gonna say this, right? And I mean, like, you know, I'm gonna just be straight to the point. Now, that kind of you know view of oneself, right? That just goes under stupidity. That just goes under complete no sense stupidity. So you mean to tell me you gonna pretty much have that in your mindset? Like, you gotta be insane to have that in your mindset. To think that, okay, I'm gonna get me an Edomite child, and pretty much that's the child of God. And I mean, it makes sense because they believe that, you know, that the Son of God or the Most High is the so-called white person or a white entity, but it's not. But I'm just saying, to go that far to where that woman was going, as you've shown, that just goes under stupidity. That has to. You have to be insane. And this is why I always say, man, like, you know, just forget about the 2/3 because their mind is just way out there.
Right.
They're so gone that, I mean, it's not even a joke. You really can't really joke about it. Okay, because you even had, like, you know, you had a couple of Edomites that came up here, and they're actually coming towards the truth. That's why the scripture says the children of this world are much more wiser than the children of light. Who is the children of light? The children of light are these people on the side. But yet they're so stuck up and caught up into that Christianity, man, that slave plantationistic Christianity. Meanwhile, you got Edomites that are actually coming out to sort out the truth. Like, I was in Scoutston, right? And I went to this museum, and I ain't seen one Jake in that museum. There was nothing but Edomites in that museum because they're looking for answers. And Jake ain't looking for answers. Jake is so caught up into this hype of you know, the world and what they call white supremacy. They're so caught up into that, man. Okay, but that's all right because, like you said, brother, the Lord is only concerned about the elect.
Right.
The Most High is only concerned about the elect of His people. The Lord ain't caring about the majority of Jacob.
Right.
And I can see why the Most High got mad at the Most High got mad at Israel because they were worshiping those different gods of the Egyptians, those different deities. Because them Jakes, they were deep into that stuff, man. If they deep into that nonsense, then just imagine how it was back 3,000-4,000 years ago, man. And this is why the Lord is only concerned with 144,000 of His people. That's the reason.
Alright. Okay, because like I said, you have to understand how deep the oppression was. We deeply believed that we was being oppressed because of our skin color. That being oppressed every day, being tortured, being completely discriminated against, suffering every day, because we believed it was going through all of that because of what we look like, physically and aesthetically. So naturally, when we gave birth to white children, we thought that was a relief from our suffering. You know, it was like a mental thing. Now, when you beat somebody so much, it becomes a psychological thing. All right. But see, the Most High, the ones that are people that are weak, they're gonna fall off. They're gonna become victims of that.
Right.
Those of us that are strong are gonna endure to the end and make it through the oppression, okay, of this captivity. All right. So this we're gonna continue.
And brother, you know what I noticed is why I noticed, man, that there's a lot of these black women, they're the ones that's really bugged out of this information. Because you don't see no black man really doing that. Let's be honest. Ain't no so-called Negro doing that, man. But it's these black women. But it's true what you're saying because they're the weaker vessel. You know?
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner,
Right.
and the ass his master's crib.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass, that's what they say, dumb ass. That's where you get the term dumb ass from. Even the ass knows his master's crib.
But Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider.
See, so we become so dumb in the head that we become more dumber than the two dumbest animals on the planet, man. That's how low we've become as a nation. We've been deprived of our own senses. Okay? To the point where we go back to our enemies seeking love, man. Like, who in their right man would do that? Like, that's why all nations look down on us. They think that we're a derision. They have us in derision. Meaning they have us as scorn. Because they're looking at these Negroes thinking, why the hell do you trust white people and so-called white people have slaughtered you and done all manner of abominations to you for centuries? Why do you go back to them? That's dumb. That's like a woman who's been cheated on by her boyfriend, being abused by her boyfriend. Instead of leaving her boyfriend, she stays with him. Now you're gonna look at that woman and think, what the hell wrong? Is she crazy? You know, it's a mental thing. She could leave. That's the sensible thing to do, right? But obviously, because they're so caught up in their emotions, she's so caught up in her emotions that she stays with that abusive boyfriend. Regardless of how many times he cheats on her, you know, and so forth and so on. She believes that she needs him. She believes that she needs him. Like we as a people, we believe that we need Esau.
When it's really the opposite.
It's really the opposite. We think that we need him. We depend on him for everything. As the scriptures, the curse said, we shall go to him in the want of all things, in nakedness, in thirst, and hunger, and in the want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron around her neck until we have been destroyed. Alright? That's the condition that we're in. That we depend on those that lie and abuse us the most.
Alright, though, brother, we can't put the we in that because I know we as a people, because we're all a nation. But that's you know what I mean. That's the 2/3, man. That's their problem. Our problem is that we want to see the so-called white man be destroyed and come out of power, man. That's our problem. Our problem is we want him to come out of power. Let me reiterate myself. Our problem is him ruling the earth. Okay, and that righteousness is not even on the scene. That's the problem that we have. So if Jake want to be caught up in that pipe and they want to have their head stuck up Esau's behind, that's on them. If they can't understand in the year 2018 from now on what's going on with the truth, then that's on them. Okay, I could understand if we're in like 1700s. Okay, where there's no lack of information to to arouse you and make you out speak. That's understanding. But we live in an age where there's information. You can go on the internet and go look up anything you want to look at. You don't even have to go in the damn library. You can just go on the internet. You want to go look at something, you can find it on the internet. Every single thing is there. Every single thing. So you mean to tell me an average, an average so-called Negro can't seem to wake up out of that estate and worshiping Esau, the master, and can't seem to really arise out of that way of thinking? Then there's something wrong with that, man. There's something wrong with that. All I have to say is this: is that if they don't want to wake up out of that condition, which they can't, that just means because they don't want to. They comfortable in that condition. And that makes sense, because if you've been living that lifestyle, if you've been having that in your mind, and your black mother's been telling you, look, you gotta go get you gotta be presentable, you gotta pretty much please the so-called wife, you gotta put a suit and tie on, okay, and this and that and the third, and your daddy ain't shit. I mean, I can understand. When you grow up, you're gonna have that in your mindset, because you're gonna think, because of what your parents told you, that's the end all be all, but it's not the end all be all, man. You're gonna have to learn and find certain things that the spirit leads you. But to just stick with that dysfunctional mentality, and you don't have to, then you're pretty much making an excuse not to. Okay, like I said, this is we in 2018. We're not in 1701. We're not in the 1400s no more. We're in the day and age of information. So if you can't get access to information that's going to elevate your spirit, okay, so that you can be at one with your people, be at one with yourself, then guess what? That's really because you comfortable in being a slave, man. And that's why the scripture says that Israel